Okay, so you know that feeling, right? You pop into the shop for like one thing, milk maybe, and walk out with, well, way more than milk.
Oh, definitely. Or you're just browsing online, not really looking, and suddenly your cart's full. Happens all the time.
Totally. It happens to pretty much everyone, I think.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this a bit. Based on the articles and stuff you sent over, why do we actually do that? Buy things we don't strictly need, even when we kind of know better.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're digging into today and looking through all those sources you gathered, the psychology studies, consumer reports, even your own notes. It really shows it's this complex mix of emotional and psychological things pushing us.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we're going to look at like how marketing gets us, how stress plays a role, social media, obviously.
Oh, it's big time.
And even stuff from way back, like childhood beliefs about money. It all seems to feed into these spending habits we sometimes, regret later.
Right. And by looking at it from these different angles, using the info you shared, the goal is really to help you, the listener, get a clearer picture of your own habits and maybe find some practical ways to get back in the driver's seat, make more conscious choices.
Okay, let's start with the brain then. That came up a lot, the idea that there's actual brain chemistry involved when we buy stuff.
Yes. What's really interesting, and several studies point this out, is that spending money literally fires up the brain's reward pathway. Dopamine gets released.
Dopamine, okay, that's the pleasure chemical, right. So buying things feels good because of that.
Well, yes, but it's often more about the anticipation. Dopamine is huge for motivation and seeking reward. Some research suggests the excitement before you buy or while waiting for the delivery.
Like tracking the package online constantly.
Exactly. That can actually give a bigger dopamine hit than actually having the thing in your hands. Your notes on that anticipation really nail it.
Okay, so that makes sense with marketing then. All those limited time offer, or only 2 left in stock message.
Precisely. They're designed to trigger that exact response, create urgency.
Tap into that fear of missing out, that need for the dopamine hit now. One article called it scarcity marketing. Super effective, apparently.
It really is. They know that tapping into that anticipation, that potential loss, is a powerful motivator. It bypasses rational thought sometimes.
But, like we know, the good feeling, it doesn't stick around, does it?
No, it's often quite short-lived. The dopamine fades. And then, as your sources mention, we can find ourselves looking for the next thing, the next purchase, to get that feeling back.
Right, it becomes a bit of a cycle. Easy to get caught up in.
A loop, yeah. Definitely easy to get stuck in.
Okay, so that's the brain part. But what about when buying feels less about the thing itself and more about, well, feelings? Trying to change our mood.
Absolutely. And that brings us squarely into emotional spending, something you touched on in your notes and a big theme in one of the psychology papers. Basically, buying to cope, not out of need.
Yeah, we've all been there, I reckon.
Right.
Rough day at work, so you order fancy takeout you wouldn't normally get.
Classic example. Or feeling a bit down, lonely maybe, and you start scrolling, buying some home decor, thinking it'll cheer the place up, cheer you up. Your examples really hit home there.
Or just boredom, right?
Yeah.
Scrolling online adds to cart.
That too. And we saw a lot more of this during really stressful periods like the pandemic. One article highlighted how online shopping became a way to feel, a bit of normalcy, something to look forward to.
Yeah, a little hit of control or excitement when everything else felt weird.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
It's temporary relief. It doesn't actually fix the underlying stress or sadness or boredom. And often, as you pointed out, it leads to other problems: debt, buyer's remorse, guilt.
and we use those little phrases, don't we? Oh, I deserve this. Or just treating myself.
We do. And it's worth asking, as you explored in your journal entries, what need are we really trying to meet there? Is it genuine self-care or just an excuse to soothe an uncomfortable feeling with a purchase?
Yeah. Makes you think twice about those justifications. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Thinking back further, our whole relationship with money, it doesn't just start when we get our first paycheck, right?
Not at all. Those developmental psychology papers you included, they really show how our core beliefs about money often get set way back in childhood.
Okay, so thinking about our own experiences,
Yeah.
what kind of messages did we get growing up? Maybe money was tight, lots of arguments about bills.
Right, that could easily create this association of money of stress. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe there was plenty, but it was used to show status or affection even.
Or maybe it just wasn't talked about, like a taboo subject.
Exactly. That silence can be just as impactful. We might end up linking money to security or self-worth or power based purely on what we picked up on, what we observed.
So these ideas, these beliefs are kind of running in the background, influencing our choices now, even if we're not aware of it. Your notes about feeling scarcity even when things are okay financially really spoke to this.
Absolutely. A lot of our adult money habits aren't purely rational. They can be these almost automatic reactions tied to those early feelings. Like maybe someone spends compulsively because getting treats was how they felt cared for as a kid.
Or the opposite, like hoarding money or things because of past insecurity.
Precisely. It could be a deep-seated fear of not having enough, stemming from way back. Recognizing these potential roots, these patterns, is such a crucial first step.
Bringing that subconscious stuff into the light.
Yeah, that awareness is where the power to change really starts.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the phone in our hands, social media. Feels like it massively shapes what we think we want or need these days.
Oh, undoubtedly. Connecting this to the bigger picture, like those sociology studies did, social media is a huge engine driving desire.
You scroll through Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this stream of perfect holidays, perfect outfits, perfect homes. It's hard not to compare, isn't it?
It really is. And that constant exposure, as the social psychology articles point out, feeds social comparison. We see these idealized snapshots and start thinking, if I just had that, I'd be happier. Or feeling inadequate if we don't measure up.
And we have to keep reminding ourselves.
It's a highlight reel. It's curated. It's not the whole messy reality of anyone's life.
Yeah. And it feels like it's more than just envy sometimes. It taps into something deeper, like identity.
I think so. It can become about belonging, about aligning ourselves with a certain image or group. We might buy things that aren't really us, just to fit into this perceived ideal we see online.
And marketers know this inside out. The ads slotted into those feeds are scarily good.
They are incredibly sophisticated. Influencers use language like game changer, must have, creating the sense you'll be left out if you don't have it. They're not just selling a lipstick or a gadget. They're selling aspiration, belonging.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, slightly different angle now. The lure of a bargain. The sale. Sometimes trying to save money actually makes us spend more.
Ah, yes. The psychology of sales. Fascinating area covered in those behavioral economics pieces. How often do we buy something just because it was on sale, even if we weren't looking for it? Your clearance rack story is spot on.
Guilty as charged. It was 70% off. I couldn't leave it.
Right. That little thrill, that's often called transaction utility. It's the pleasure we get from feeling like we snagged a good deal, separate from how much we actually value the item itself.
And retailers are masters at playing on this.
Totally. Techniques like anchoring, showing a really high original price next to the sale price, makes the discount look huge, even if the original price was kind of inflated to begin with.
Makes the deal seem irresistible. And what about those buy now, pay later services? They're everywhere now.
Yeah, they cleverly lower the psychological hurdle. Breaking the cost into smaller chunks makes the total impact feel less significant in the moment. So we might buy things we wouldn't if we had to pay the full price up front.
So really, it's often not about need. It's about this feeling of getting value.
Perceived value, exactly. And that perception, as we've seen, can be easily manipulated by how things are presented, our emotional state, all sorts of things.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of the why behind overspending, pulling from all those sources you shared. So the big question, how do we start getting a handle on it? How do we become more conscious spenders?
Right, moving from understanding to action. And a lot of these strategies echo the advice in those self-help articles you found. Practical.
Lay them on us. What can we actually do?
Okay, strategy 1. Create a pause, a buffer zone. Before you buy something non-essential, just wait. Maybe 24 hours, maybe longer for bigger things.
Just step away from the cart, basically.
Exactly. Let that initial impulse, that dopamine urge, cool down. Give your rational brain a chance to weigh in. It cuts down impulse buys massively.
Makes sense. Hit pause. What's next?
Second, ask yourself some honest questions before clicking buy. Like, why do I really want this? How am I going to feel about this purchase tomorrow or next week? Is there something else I could do with this money that aligns better with my goals?
That kind of self-check you mentioned trying. Really powerful against emotional triggers.
Turning impulse into reflection. I like it.
Third, think about setting up fun money. Budget a certain amount each month specifically for discretionary stuff, guilt-free. It means you can still treat yourself, but within boundaries that work for your overall finances.
So it's not about total deprivation, just planning for the fun stuff too.
Precisely. Strategy 4 deals with those triggers we talked about. Curate your environment, especially online. Unfollow social media accounts or influencers that consistently make you feel like you need more stuff or that you're somehow lacking.
Protect your mental space.
Yeah.
And your wallet. Exactly. And number 5, reframe restriction as positive choice. Instead of focusing on, I can't buy that, shift to, I'm choosing to put this money towards your goal, like saving for a trip, paying down debt, investing. Focus on what you're gaining by not spending impulsively.
Those feel really doable, concrete steps. You mentioned mindfulness earlier as being key to building better habits long term.
Yeah, ultimately that's what underpins all of this. Mindfulness with money just means being present, being intentional, being aware of what you're doing and why.
And it's not about being super frugal or never enjoying spending. Right.
Not at all. It's about making sure your spending actually aligns with what you value, with your life goals, making conscious choices rather than reactive ones.
So can we think about some mindset shifts, like quick reframes?
Sure. So instead of that automatic, I deserve this when you feel stressed, maybe try shifting to, I deserve peace of mind, which often comes from feeling financially stable.
Ooh, I like that one.
Or instead of thinking, treat yourself with another purchase, maybe think, invest in yourself. Could be an experience, learning something new, things that last longer.
Right. And swapping I want it now for
something like, I'm building something bigger, focusing on the long game, whatever that means for you.
Those are powerful shifts.
Yeah. Financial wellness isn't just about the numbers. It's really about self-awareness, knowing your triggers, consciously rewiring those habits, and making choices that actually support the life you want to live.
This whole deep dive, looking at everything you sent over, it's been really eye-opening. It's so easy to beat yourself up over impulse buys, isn't it?
It really is. But understanding these deeper forces, the brain chemistry, the emotional needs, the cultural pressures, the marketing, it helps you see it's not just a personal failing.
Yeah, it feels less like I'm bad with money and more like, wow, there's a lot working against conscious spending.
Exactly. Overspending is a super common human thing. We're all swimming in the sea of emotional baggage, social comparison, and incredibly clever marketing. It's tough.
But knowing is half the battle, right? That awareness we keep coming back to.
It really is the key. Once you start understanding why you spend the way you do, drawing on the kinds of insights in those articles, you gain the ability to choose how you want to act differently. That's where real change happens.
So maybe the takeaway for everyone listening is, next time you're about to buy something, especially on impulse, just pause, take a breath.
Yeah. And ask yourself, what am I actually looking for right now? Is it the thing itself or is it a feeling? Comfort, excitement, belonging. What do I really need from myself in this moment?
Good question to ask. And maybe one final thought to leave people with.
How about this? Think back. Can you identify one message about money, maybe unspoken, that you picked up in childhood? Just one. And consider, even just for a moment, could that old message still be influencing how you spend your money today? Definitely something worth pondering.